History Begins With You, a documentary on historical education with an emphasis on Educide, ArtSoc, and our solutions. What problems do you have with how you're being taught history at school?
In my experience, we were expected to read and memorize dates, events, and names. Memorization just does not provide the interest, and students find no way to relate to subjects 100 years ago.
Whenever the topic has multiple parties or issues, the angle is always one-sided. And I believe that every subject has multiple angles and ideas.
Most students in class don't see the importance of learning about these historical topics, as the relations between those events and our world are not discussed.
Now, you might be wondering how our high school history education system reached this point. Well, it was through a concept called Educide.
Educide is the destruction of education. It takes place when people no longer learn how to think, but they are taught what to think. It comes under the action of control. Someone has a narrative and they change that narrative so they can control people, how they think, what they are taught, and all of a sudden, facts get lost in history.
One prime example of the concept of Educide being used today can be seen through the circumstances surrounding the region of Nagorno-Karabakh found within the South Caucasus. Our education system is teaching us that Nagorno-Karabakh is a disputed region that has been the subject of ongoing conflict and tension between Armenia and Azerbaijan. It has been recognized internationally as part of Azerbaijan and is an integral part of the country's territory. The historical, legal, and political arguments all support the fact that Nagorno-Karabakh is part of Azerbaijan and must be recognized as such. First and foremost, the historical ties between Nagorno-Karabakh and Azerbaijan cannot be overlooked. The region has been an integral part of Azerbaijan for centuries and was only briefly under Armenian control during the Soviet era. In 1923, the Soviet government transferred Nagorno-Karabakh to Azerbaijan, recognizing it as part of the country's territory. This historical fact establishes Nagorno-Karabakh as an inherent part of Azerbaijan and cannot be ignored in any discussion of its status. And while this narrative likes to project that the president of Azerbaijan liberated Artsakh and its people, this is not the case. In reality, the president of Azerbaijan conquered the region of Nagorno-Karabakh and its people through illegal means. The truth about the Armenian-occupied region of Artsakh, also known as Nagorno-Karabakh, is often obscured by misinformation and propaganda because of Educide. This region, with its predominantly Armenian population, throughout its history has been a source of conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan for decades in the 20th and 21st centuries. However, the international community has failed to acknowledge these historical and legal complexities surrounding the status of Artsakh. The treaties of Kars, Moscow, and Lausanne, which play a crucial role in determining the status of Artsakh, now should be taught as illegal due to the fact that Mustafa Kemal was not the legal government of Turkey at the time of their signings. The Treaty of Kars, signed in 1921, determined the borders between Turkey and the Soviet Union and established the status of Artsakh. The Treaty of Moscow, signed in 1921, recognized the transfer of control over Artsakh from the Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic to the Armenian Soviet Socialist Republic. The Treaty of Lausanne, signed in 1923, finalized the borders of modern-day Turkey and established the sovereignty of the Turkish Republic. Simply put, Azerbaijani claims are based on these illegal treaties and therefore must be dismissed. Although we are taught differently in schools, the only treaty with real legal standing from both parties was the Treaty of Sèvres, signed August 10, 1920. Within this treaty, President Woodrow Wilson was given the power to redraw the boundaries of the former Ottoman Empire, in which Woodrow Wilson gave the region of Artsakh to Armenia. However, this treaty was then rejected by the Turkish nationalists, led by Mustafa Kemal, who then went on to create their own treaties. The fact of the matter is that the Treaty of Sèvres was the only treaty signed by people who were legally representing their countries. Our education systems aren't the only ones responsible for contributing to Educide, though. The media is as well. In addition to the lies about the various legalities of treaties, the media also lies about who's being attacked by Azerbaijan. While the Azerbaijani government claims that they only attacked rebels, what the media fails to project is that they also attacked civilians. Ultimately, our goal is to change the narrative and change the way we teach history. We will work with AGBU AVC Armenian Virtual College, World Affairs Council of Austin, and world-class schools. We must change how we teach history before the truth is lost in the history we teach. Our solution to this modern-day problem of Educide can be described through 5 points. We are changing how we teach history by first, providing diverse perspectives, second, refraining from group thinking, third, promoting project-based education, fourth, performance-based evaluations, and fifth, providing more variety of teacher resources and development opportunities. Through AGBU AVC, we are currently implementing all 5 of these points. Currently, a Diplomacy Academy project is being undertaken, in which students will learn mediation skills, legal reasoning skills, and will be able to imitate real-world politics. This is Maureen, the manager of the education team at AGBU AVC. In 2023, Maureen greatly assisted us in beginning our student-led project called Geography of a Genocide. As part of our project, AGBU AVC designed courses for students that would help them become teacher trainers on genocides in history. When asked, how will this change the way teachers teach? Maureen responded,
by introducing a multidimensional approach to teaching, incorporating language, history, and professional development, this initiative has the potential to transform teaching methodologies. Teachers can benefit from diverse perspectives and new strategies, enhancing their effectiveness in the classroom. Teachers gain insights into diverse cultures, languages, and historical events, enabling them to nurture students who are not only academically proficient, but also culturally aware and globally competent.
Maureen also believes that this method of teaching is highly beneficial. As she stated,
students tend to gain from a holistic learning experience that goes beyond traditional classroom boundaries. Integrating language, history, and skills development fosters critical thinking and a deeper understanding of subjects, preparing students for a dynamic and interconnected world.
This approach to education puts the students of today in real-world situations so that they can become the successful leaders of tomorrow. This is a documentary like no other, and we must change the way we teach history, beginning with Arts Talk. We are changing how we teach what we teach, and today we will change the narrative. Join us in being the turning point in changing education.